ministry. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
Well, sir. I'm going to clap for you, Brother Gerald.
Yeah.
Praise
Allah.
be to Allah.
Praise Allah.
Thank you, sir. Yo, yes, sir. All right, fam. Praise be to Allah. Let me start, of course, by saying in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. As students and followers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we thank Allah for all of Allah's messengers and prophets and the scriptures that they brought. We thank Allah for Moses, Musa, and Abraham, the Abrahamic prophets, and the revelation of the Torah or the Old Testament. We thank Allah for Jesus or Isa, Ibn Maryam, his real name.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the disciples and the revelation of the Injil of the New Testament. We thank Allah for Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah of 1400 years ago, and the revelation of the divine Holy Quran Sharif. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon each and every one of these worthy servants of His.
Yes, sir.
But of course, as students of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we can never thank Allah for his intervention in our affairs in the divine person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi of the Muslims, the great Messiah of the Christians and the Jews. He was promised to come, right?
Yes, sir.
In the book of Genesis, the 15th chapter, 13th verse, God promised Abraham that his seed would be a stranger in a strange land, and that they would serve them and afflict them for 400 years.
Yes, sir.
And after that, he said, I'm coming.
Yes, sir.
Now that's heavy. You know what I mean? That's heavy duty, because we get into the mindset where we know that Allah is all-encompassing, right?
Yes,
we
sir.
know that He's incomparable. We know that there really is no entity that can hold His true greatness,
right,
and the awesomeness of Him.
Yes, sir.
But He said, I'm coming.
That's right. That's right.
And He said He's going to judge that nation, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
This man, Master Farad Muhammad, was born on February 26, 1877.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the holy city of Mecca. A man.
Yes, sir.
But he was born, but he realized at the age of 6 what his destiny was. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he saw himself pushing the Rockefellers and the DuPonts and the Mellons into a lake of fire at 6 years old.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And his father, a black scientist from Mecca, saw something in his child. And being one of the scientists that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us about, he recognized who his son was.
Yeah.
He recognized that his son would grow up to be greater than him.
Yeah.
And he started putting his son on a course of study so that he could fulfill his destiny. His destiny was, just like the scripture says, to come and find that dead people, that lost sheep. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh man, it's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful time.
This beautiful black man, Master Farad Muhammad, he came to America. He revealed himself in 1930.
Yes, sir.
Right? But he came 20 years before that.
Yeah.
He found us in 1910
Yes,
and
sir.
declared that this was the people that I'm looking for. But before I go and do what I'm supposed to do, he had to go and study. And so we're taught that he went amongst every inhabited people on the planet.
Yes, sir.
And he studied. He started fashioning I don't want to say fashioning a theology, but fashioning a methodology of coming to get this peculiar, strange, lost, dead people in America.
Yes, sir.
He came in and out of America from 1910 all the way to when he revealed himself in 1930. Interestingly enough, in 1910 when he found us, he was 33 years old.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
The same age as Jesus when his ministry began.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Go ahead. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
It's a beautiful thing. And so he studied. He came back. He revealed himself in July 1930.
Yes, sir.
And there was a young black man who, was doing all sorts of work. He worked on the railroad. He worked, in different spots. A Georgia-born black man who had witnessed the atrocities of what our people had underwent growing up in Sandersville and Cordell, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
He saw the horror of what our people was going through. And he sympathized and he empathized with us because he was us.
Yes, sir.
His name was Elijah Poole at that time, but he came to be known as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that as a little boy, he saw a black man hanged.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Oh, man. He met this man, Master Fard Muhammad. And interestingly enough, when he met Master Fard Muhammad, he was also 33 years old.
That's right. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, praise is due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
33 years old, the same age as Jesus when his ministry began.
That's right. Go ahead.
The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he taught us what this man taught him for 40 years.
That's right.
He taught us that the white man was the devil in the 30s.
Yes, sir.
He went to jail in 1942 for, what do they call it? Avoiding the draft dodging.
Yeah, draft evasion. Yes, sir.
And he was really too old to be drafted. At that time, he was 45 years old.
That's right.
But they wanted to take him off the streets at that time because America was prosecuting a war.
Yes, sir.
And they didn't want black people siding with the enemies of America, right?
That's
so
right.
they took him off the street and they put him in jail. And while he was in jail, we should read that history and know that history. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad started converting the whole prison.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's how powerful this man's teaching was.
Yeah.
In the 40s.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they had to get him up out of there. But eventually, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he prayed for a helper. And in 1955, Savior's Day, a young musician who was invited by his uncle came to the Savior's Day address and heard the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And while he was there, he was sitting there and he's listening to the messenger teach very powerful teaching, but he's noticing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is splitting verbs. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, he had a stammer. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so he's thinking to himself that, man, this man can't talk. And so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as if he was reading his thoughts, said, brother, he said, brother, when I went to school, the school doors were closed.
That's right.
Now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is thinking this man is splitting verbs.
Yeah.
But the messenger stops in the middle of his address as if he's reading his thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was. You know what I'm saying? But he said, brother, when I went to school, the school doors were closed. And so I didn't get that fancy education that you got. But what you do is listen to not how I say it, but listen to what I'm saying.
That's right.
And then you take that, what I'm saying, and put it into that fancy language of yours.
Yeah.
Huh? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, after that, was convinced that this was the man that he had been looking for all of his life.
Yeah, that's right.
And interestingly enough, this man, Louis Farrakhan, who was a Savior's Day gift to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was born in 1933.
Go ahead,
There
bro.
go another 33.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
But we thank Allah for each and every one of these beautiful servants of His. Because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is that man. He is that leader in the absence of the leader who is giving us what we need at this particular time.
That's right.
And in their three holy and righteous names, and in the names of all of the prophets of God, we greet you in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Our subject today is taken from the latest edition of the Final Call newspaper. And if you haven't got this newspaper, man, please pick it up. But it's leaders rising among leaders. And I wanted to talk about this because, you know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's articles are always on time.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
right? Always on time. And this article, interestingly enough, was from a lecture he delivered at Lemoyne Owen College, an HBCU located in Memphis, in 2012. Right?
Yes, sir.
But it's so timely because we're in a leadership crisis today.
That's right.
If you all haven't noticed.
That's right.
Have y'all noticed that?
Yes, sir.
We are in a leadership crisis. Hold on, I'm gonna grab a napkin real quick. Yeah, we are in a leadership crisis, man. This man, y'all's 45th president. Notice I said y'all's 45th president.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Has shut down the government.
Yes, sir, brother. Go ahead.
I don't know if we realize how significant this is. He has shut down the government. Today marks the 23rd day of a government shutdown.
Yes, sir.
And so he's talking about declaring a national emergency.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead, brother.
I mean, this is incredible. This is incredible, the times that we're living in. These are very historical times. He shut down the government because the Congress refuses to give him $5 billion to build a wall.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I mean, that is crazy. insanity at the highest depths. And the reason why I'm saying it's a crisis in leadership is because he wants to build this wall, because this is a campaign promise that he promised his supporters. Not all of the American people.
That's right.
Because all the American people don't want no damn wall.
That's right.
Right? But he promised his people, who are primarily white nationalists, which is a code word for white supremacists.
That's right. That's right.
And Trump has already admitted, he said, hey man, I am a white nationalist. Hey, that's what I am. There's nothing wrong with that.
Go ahead, brother.
He shut it down because he promised them a wall.
That's right.
To keep the Mexicans out. That's crazy. That is insane. As if there's, you know, Mexicans and South Americans with guns at the border trying to come into America and wage war.
Yeah.
And so he's, you know, he's wagging the dog and he's using all of these racial code words, and all of a sudden now it's getting real.
That's right.
Because on Friday, I think it was Thursday or Friday, it marked the first day that the federal employees.
Friday.
Yeah,
Yes,
Friday.
Yes, sir.
They're supposed to get paid.
That's right.
And can you imagine working for a week?
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And then it's time to get paid, and they be like, oh, you don't get no paycheck.
Yes, sir.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, sir.
Right after Christmas, when them credit card bills is coming in.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Can you imagine? I mean, you know, some of us can because we worked in federal jobs. I've never, you know, worked for the federal government. But they're not getting paid. It's starting to get real.
Yeah, that's right.
It's starting to get real. There is a crisis of leadership in the church.
That's right. That's right.
There is. You know, there's a crisis of leadership even in the conscious community. You know, we have all of these, you know, now in the age of social media, to be conscious or to be quote unquote hashtag woke, that's a business now.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you're conscious and you know about things that are going on with your people, you know about injustices that have been committed against your people, and you can articulate it in a certain way, or you can put out scholarly works, man. You can get on the lecture circuit and get money.
That's right.
For being woke.
That's right.
But there's a crisis in leadership because there is a lack of morality.
Yeah.
In all of these areas.
That's right.
Whether it be politics, religion, the conscious community, education, there is a lack of morality that is taking place. So there is a crisis in leadership.
Yes, sir.
Our people complain all the time about there being no black leaders. There aren't any black leaders. I don't know how many times I had that conversation. There aren't any more black leaders. There's no more Martin Luther Kings. There's no more Malcolm X's, or no more Marcus Garveys, or no more, you know, whoever the leader is. There's no more Huey P. Newtons and the Black Panther Party. We say that about ourselves because we feel like there is no prominent leader. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother.
So, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in this article, and his article appears on page 20 of the Final Call newspaper. It always appears on page 20, right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and this article is entitled Consecration, Service, and Truth. Leaders rising among leaders.
Yes, sir.
And he says, in part of this, from one of the speakers tonight who preceded me, I heard them state these three words: consecration, service, and truth. But the pillar of consecration, service, and truth is the quality of the leadership. There is no real leadership if that leadership is not rooted in moral character.
That's right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now that's heavy, because consecration means the action of making or declaring something sacred.
Yes.
So there's a lack of leadership because people don't have moral character.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
There
right.
we go.
Donald Trump don't have no moral
No,
character.
none at
Come
all.
on now.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
A lot of these conscious people know a lot about being black and what happened to our people, but their morals are lacking.
Yeah.
A lot of preachers, I gotta say it,
Yes, sir.
quiet as is kept, are in the pulpit but have very poor moral character.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
It's just the truth. What happens is, in terms of being a leader, because a lot of us are, because there's a lack of leadership, a lot of us consider ourselves to be leaderless.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I don't have no leader. I lead myself.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
But what are you leading yourself to? What are you leading yourself based upon? Because we do, I agree, we should lead ourselves. But we gotta have some sort of blueprint.
That's right.
That's right.
We have to. I'm gonna prove my point. When we're, each and every one of us is born, the Quran says, complete yet incomplete.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Complete yet incomplete. And so, as a child, you know, we're born into this world, and of course, the first person we come in contact with is our mother. She acts not only as our leader, but she's really our God.
Yes, sir.
Because she's providing everything for us. We are complete yet incomplete. And so mom guides us to a certain point until we can move really on our own.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
That's right.
But once we get to the point where we're teenagers, especially as men, 14, 15, 16, we're not looking to mom no more.
That's right.
Now trust and believe, we always love our mama. Especially a black man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't nobody, hey, you talk about anybody you want, but don't you say nothing about my mama.
That's right. That's right.
We love mama, but in our lives, a lot of times subconsciously, we're looking for a leader.
That's right.
Because even though, you know, we're coming into our own, we've reached the age of puberty, we're starting to feel like we're men, we still are incomplete.
Yes, sir.
But oftentimes, especially in the black community, we don't have men or fathers in the house to help make us into a man. We don't really have a leader.
That's right. That's right.
Is that right?
That's right.
And so we are left up to our own devices. And so a lot of times we'll fall into gangs.
That's right.
We'll fall into criminal activity.
That's right.
We'll fall into being influenced by the wrong person or persons because we don't have that leadership.
That's
We
right.
need
Go
a
ahead.
leader.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
We, just like Allah, we are growing stage after stage into what we will ultimately be. But a lot of times we need some sort of guidance in order to get there.
That's right.
Oh, man. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, one of the many things that he said, and this is one of my favorite quotes, that he didn't come to make a nation of followers.
That's right.
He came to make a nation of gods. That's heavy.
Yeah.
That's heavy. When we come into consciousness, and we'll see this a lot of times online, we'll begin to refer to one another, especially when we start thinking more highly of each other. We'll say, peace queen, or peace king. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a higher level of consciousness compared to what we do in the streets. What's up, nigga? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a higher level of consciousness.
Right.
And that should be applauded, right? But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he didn't come to make us into a nation of kings and queens. He came to make us into a nation of God.
Yes, sir.
Now, he said, what's wrong with being a king, brother? What's wrong with being a queen? There's nothing wrong with it. But there is something wrong with it. If you know anything about a king or a queen or a queen have to have subjects.
That's right. That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
They have to have people who are beneath them. They have to have people who serve them.
Yeah.
There is even such a thing as the divine right of kings. Now look that up.
Go ahead.
Now the divine right of kings said that a king or a queen could do anything to his subject, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, and be subject to no sort of punishment because they had divine rights as kings and queens.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And so people suffer under kings and queens if the king and the queen is corrupt.
Go
corrupt
ahead.
leadership.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he came to make us into a nation of gods because a God above everything else is righteous.
Yeah. Go ahead.
A God has a certain character that is not in doubt. You can't be a God and be wicked. Unless you're not a God, you're a devil.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you are a God, or if we're all gods, we have to treat each other like we treat God.
Yes, sir.
That is with reverence. That is with respect. That is with honor. That is with love.
Yes, sir.
The first commandment is to love God with your heart, your soul, your mind, your spirit.
Yes, sir.
What if we treated each other like that, every single one of us?
Wow. Go ahead.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. So the prerequisite to really good leadership is good moral character.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes, sir.
prerequisite is that we stand on principles of righteousness. We stand on what's right. And we do that no matter what.
Yes, sir.
That's what leadership is about.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, beloved. That's what leadership is about. True leadership.
Yes,
consecrated leadership.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is about. You know, as a people, we can become leaders just standing on the principles of righteousness. We can make decisions that are going to be truthful and lasting, just standing on the principles of righteousness. You know, they just did this, and I gotta say this because this is all over the news. the whole R. Kelly thing.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And we are all over the place as a people with
Yeah.
this R. Kelly. And his studio got bedrooms and he got different women, and they won't leave. He's not allowing them to leave, but they not. It was that part was kind of convoluted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they tore his head up, man. They tore him up. They tore him up. And so the whole community is outraged about the level of abuse that R. Kelly has put on these women.
Right, right.
They also talked about, very briefly, it was very unbalanced. It was very anti-R. Kelly, right? But they also talked about his abuse. He was abused,
right,
as a youngster. And I want to say by a female, his sister or somebody. It wasn't really clear as to who abused him. But here's my thing about it in terms of just the way we are acting. Because I remember when the tape came out of him with the young girl.
Right, right.
And I know that he was not convicted. But in my humble opinion, he should have been convicted.
Right.
20 years ago.
Right.
I saw the tape, and as God is my witness, I will not lie to you. That was a little girl on that tape. And he did everything that they said he did and worse to that little girl.
Right.
I saw that with my own eyes. And it wasn't it could have been his brother, or she could have been, no. She was a young girl. I thought she was younger than 14. That's how young she looked.
Right, right.
And so, myself, just personally, and some other brothers that I know, I stopped listening to R. Kelly music 20 years ago.
Right.
Because, and I know we say, well, he wasn't convicted. It doesn't matter. I know what I saw. I stopped based upon a moral principle.
That's right.
I can't separate the man from the music.
Right.
Not me. I mean, I just can't.
Right.
To me, if you stand up and you represent a certain thing, and R. Kelly is a gifted person. He has a gift from God. The way that man sings,
yes, sir.
the way that man writes songs, that's a gift from God. But you can't use that gift to destroy the most precious resource in our community.
Yes, sir.
Which is black women.
That's right.
You can't do that.
That's right. Go ahead.
Not to me. I can't support you if you're doing that. If a preacher is doing, if he's standing up at a rostrum, but he's got, 3 and 4 girlfriends, he running through everybody in the church, I can't support that preacher.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I can't. I gotta stand on a moral principle.
That's right.
That's leadership. That's the decision that each and every one of us have to make. Y'all can see that documentary, judge for yourself. But, and I'm not judging R. Kelly in terms of what should happen to him. I can't do that either. Because again, I think he was abused. I don't know the depth of that man's illness. And I think that a person who can do what he's done has some serious mental illness.
Yes, sir.
Serious.
Yes, sir.
And so I can't judge that. But I will say that whenever we commit a crime, especially against the black woman, we should be punished. And then he should get some treatment while he's being punished.
That's right. That's right.
But the other thing that's happening with regards to our people is we're upset. A lot of people online upset because they don't feel like justice is being doled out equally.
Right.
Because there are many white entertainers and performers who have done the same thing, if not worse.
That's right.
But don't nobody do no Lifetime special.
That's right. That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Don't nobody do no Lifetime special about them. And the rabbit hole goes so deep with this whole R. Kelly situation because he was running through the black community for the last 20 years doing what he's been doing. But at the same time, he's been making music and making money.
Yeah.
But not for himself.
No.
That's right. That's right.
Are y'all listening?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Not for himself. Now, he gets some concert money, right?
Right.
But in terms of, when you talk about music, man, that's a business. Business.
Yes, sir.
And so when you are a creative in the music industry, and when I mean by a creative in the music industry, I mean that you write your own music, you will be rich forever.
That's right.
One song. Are y'all listening?
Yes, sir.
One
Go ahead.
song will
Go
make
ahead.
you rich forever.
Yes, sir.
Publishing.
Yeah.
But R. Kelly has written, oh my God, countless songs. He's written not only for himself, but for Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
He had Changing Faces. He's written for the Isleys. He's written for, I mean, so many people you can't even count. The I Believe I Can Fly joint for the Space Jam.
Yes, sir.
He wrote that.
Yes, sir.
Just looking at Michael Jordan on the video, he wrote that song. But he don't own any publishing.
Right. Right.
Zero. Zero. So while he's been running roughshod through the community and making money making money, I mean just millions and possibly billions of dollars, he's not getting any of the money.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Are y'all listening?
Yes, sir. Come on.
So the question should be asked, and our people are right and asking it, who getting paid?
Yeah.
If he's not getting the money, who's getting the money?
Yeah.
And now, with the Lifetime special, and I just got to say this about that whole Lifetime special, that is the prerequisite to war.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
What do you mean, Brother Herman? In the art of war, before you come and destroy your enemy, the first thing you do is you put out propaganda about them.
That's right. Go ahead, brother.
The die is already set.
Yeah.
We already protected you, brother, for 20 years. We let you run through these women and we let you do what you wanted to do while you was making all this money for us.
Yeah.
But now, we got it. They don't need him anymore.
Mm. Yeah.
Everything that he already produced the product.
Yeah.
Music is a product.
Yes, sir.
It's not just art. It is a product. I love Sam Cooke. I wasn't even alive when Sam Cooke was doing this thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's right.
But I know the song. It's been a long time coming.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother. Go
You
ahead.
see what I'm saying?
Yes,
It's a product.
Come on.
Every time that song gets played, Sam Cooke's estate gets paid.
Yeah.
Right.
R. Kelly, every time that I believe I can fly.
Go ahead, brother.
Look, somebody getting paid.
That's right.
But it ain't R. Kelly.
Mm.
Mm.
And now once we lock you up, oh man.
Mm.
Yeah.
The streaming of R. Kelly's songs went up after the Lifetime special, interestingly enough, 16%.
Wow.
Mm.
16%. But he not getting paid off the streams.
Right.
he got to do shows in order to get paid.
Right.
Right? So now, and I didn't even mean to go into all of this, but it's such an interesting time.
Right,
Yes,
right.
it is.
They have a hashtag mute R. Kelly movement. That goes right along with the hashtag Me Too movement.
Right. Go ahead.
And what the mute R. Kelly movement does is whenever he is doing a show, they shut his concert down.
Wow.
Wow.
Powerful.
Wow.
He got powerful enemies after him. Lifetime is owned by Viacom. And interestingly enough,
Which Jew is that?
yeah, it's a Jew. It's a Jew. It's a Jew who also has, listen,
Yes,
child molestation
Yeah, go ahead.
charges against him.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Knows that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
These people, look, man, that boy's in trouble. That boy's in trouble. And like I said, man, I can't defend what he did because, look, I saw the tape. I saw the tape.
Yes, sir.
I'm not an R. Kelly fan. But with us as a people, we could have saved R. Kelly
Yes.
20 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Responsible leadership could have saved R. Kelly 20 years ago.
That's right.
That's right.
As a people, if we stood on principle and said, look, man, we're not going to let you run through our women and girls.
Yeah,
no,
that's right.
sir.
That's right.
That's right.
We're not going to support you as long as you're doing this sort of behavior. We're not going to let you do this. As a matter of fact, we're going to ride on you if we find out you're doing it.
Yeah,
Right.
That's right.
Right.
But
Right.
we didn't. We turned a blind eye.
That's right.
Yes, we did.
And here's the thing about us and about leadership. We can stand on righteous principle as long as it does not conflict with our own personal desires.
That's right. Go ahead, brother.
That's so true.
Go ahead.
As a people, man, and I gotta say, man, I be pissed off at black people sometimes. Like, come on, man, you gotta be kidding me. Because we start something, but as soon as it interferes with our personal desires, it's like,
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
So the R. Kelly thing came out, man, and we was hot. But then, Step in the Name of Love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Came out and it's like, man, I got to play that at my wedding.
Yeah, that's right.
I got to play that.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It was our own personal desires. It's like, we didn't get convicted. And a couple of the couples, and they were from Chicago, they on the documentary, they actually took their daughters, 16, 17, to R. Kelly concerts so that they could meet R. Kelly.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that he could further their music.
That's right.
Now these people are from Chicago.
Yeah.
I saw the tape in Denver. So
Yeah.
you don't mean to tell me them people didn't see the tape in Chicago?
Yes, they did.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
They saw that tape in
Yes, sir.
Chicago.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they did.
And so I'm thinking, damn, if I got a 16-year-old daughter, right? And I know about R. Kelly concerts. I've never been to one, but I heard about them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they are raunchy as anything could be. You know, he crotch grabbing and simulated sex on stage, the whole nine. There's no way in hell I'm taking my daughter
Yeah.
to no R. Kelly concert.
That's right.
Right. Personal interest.
Go ahead.
Let alone letting her get on stage with R. Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sad.
Unless my personal desire is he gonna put my baby on.
That's right. Come on.
So sad.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
we can do the right thing as long as it conflicts with our personal
Yeah,
desire.
that's right.
That's right. You're right.
And so now those people, they're suffering. They can't get their daughters back. And they knocking on the door. I'm watching the documentary, and it's heartbreaking when you see it. It's heartbreaking. They knocking on the doors, G, trying to get in, and the daughters they closing the blinds on them.
Yes. Yes, I saw that.
But you can't call the police because they're not underage no more. They started at 17, but now they 18, now they 19.
Right.
They choosing to stay. Right?
Yes, sir.
So it interfered with their personal desires. Same thing with and I got to get at us too, brothers, because, you know, it's women occupying them R. Kelly concerts.
Yeah, that's right.
But here's another thing that happened recently. The NFL.
Yeah.
With Colin Kaepernick.
Go ahead.
And look, I love Colin Kaepernick. Because the brother was willing to stand or kneel on a principle.
That's
Yes,
right.
Yes.
He kneeled down, and at first, the way it started, it wasn't even a story. He was just kneeling while they were singing the national anthem.
Right. That's right.
And somebody in the press said, "Hey man, why you kneeling?" And he just told them straight out and articulated it very well that, you know, there's police brutality that's going on in the country, and just knowing the history of the national anthem and what the song really stands for,
Right.
I'm choosing to kneel during that. You know what I'm saying? It's just my thing. I'm not
Right.
peaceful protest.
Right.
Oh, they went nuts. Oh, he's you know, totally mischaracterizing what the brother was doing. He's against our soldiers and this and that and that, blah, blah, blah. No, he just told you exactly why he's doing what he's doing.
Right.
And so a few other brothers in the NFL decided they would join Malcolm Jenkins and, you know, a few of them other Seattle players. And, you know, everybody started, even Brandon Marshall here in Denver, started protesting a little bit, right?
Right.
That lasted.
That's right.
Oh, man. You know, the owner started leaning on the players, right?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
The owners started leaning on the players.
Right.
Owners,
Owners.
we own you niggas.
Yeah.
Y'all better do what we say.
Right.
Jerry Jones said, I don't know about no protest, but come open the day, my boys, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
My boys is gonna be holding the line.
Yeah.
And sure enough, the Cowboys is up on the
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But the protest really lost steam because black people at first were very upset.
Yeah.
We were very upset. We were throwing black power fists up. I stand with Cap. I remember there was a little t-shirt with a black fist and a 7 on it and all that. We not watching the NFL. But then Broncos won a couple of games. Dallas started winning.
Yeah.
Chicago went to the playoffs. It's like, I know we protesting, but my team is in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
It started to interfere with our own personal desires.
That's right.
And what's so crazy is, man, don't none of us own no stock in no NFL team.
That's right.
None of us. But we got an allegiance to them. Oh, man. Personal desires will get in the way. But if we stand on truth, if we stand on a righteous principle, I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to support. Because it's akin to slavery, and I don't like slavery.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Oh man! As long as we keep going for it, brothers and sisters, they gonna keep pulling it on us. Is that right?
That's
Yes, sir.
right. Yes, sir.
But leadership. Leadership. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says a little bit further. If you want to lead, this is no easy people to lead.
That's right.
Can you have the heart to withstand being evil spoken of, rejected by the people you want to lead, and yet you still stand up?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I know a lot about that, but I'm still standing.
Come on.
That's the point. You got to be strong because our people don't need any pussycat leadership.
That's right.
That's right.
The Bible teaches there is a lion asleep in Judah who will wake him. You can't send a pussycat to wake up a lion. You have to send a lion to wake up a lion.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
Beautiful.
Praise be to Allah. And the other thing that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in this, and this is awesome in terms of leadership, is we shouldn't come into leadership with the idea that people serve us.
That's right. Go ahead, brother.
I'm going to say that again.
Teach on that.
We shouldn't come into leadership with the idea that the people serve us.
That's right.
Go ahead.
We are supposed to serve the people.
That's right.
And then he pointed out the scripture where Jesus said, I didn't come into the world to be ministered unto. I came into the world to minister.
Right.
So he who would be chief among you, let him be your servant.
That's right.
And so the mark of a good leader is that he's a good servant.
That's right.
That's how we know Donald Trump ain't worth nothing.
That's right.
Because all he serves is himself.
That's right. Go ahead.
That's it. That's all.
Go ahead.
He didn't even think, that fool didn't even think he was going to get elected.
That's
His
right.
his whole thing was to put himself in a better position to do business all over the world.
That's right.
That's what his whole election was about.
Right.
Sir.
And that's why they got he got old Mueller investigating him right now for collusion because he had already got the ball rolling with the Russians.
That's right.
Trump Tower was about to go up in
Yeah, that's
Moscow.
right.
Don't get
right.
it twisted.
That's
It
right.
was fit to go up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we got to be servants. The Holy Quran says there's a surah 6, and it just talks about leadership, and it reads like this, and this is Surah 6, 165. And he it is who has made you successors in the land, and exalted some of you in rank above others, that he may try you by what he has given you. Surely thy Lord is quick in requiting evil, and he is surely the forgiving, the merciful. And there's a lot in that.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
There's a lot in that, because in that it talks about principle if you read it carefully. It says, and he it is who has made you successors in the land, and exalted some of you in rank above others, that he may try you by what he has given you. Surely thy Lord is quick in requiting evil, and he is surely the forgiving, the merciful. See, he's quick in requiting evil. That's standing on the principle of righteousness.
Yes.
He's trying you by what he has given you.
Right.
Man, we don't give ourselves nothing.
That's right.
Everything in this universe belongs to Allah.
That's right.
And he gives it to whom he pleases.
That's so true.
Is that right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
in terms of our leadership, man, it's got to be based upon a righteous principle. It's got to be based upon the fact that we know that everything that we have, every position that we aspire to or that we are elevated to is not of our own volition. It all comes from Allah.
Right.
Yes, it
Right.
is.
Right.
It all comes from Allah. So why wouldn't we serve him?
Come on.
That's right.
Why wouldn't that be our prerequisite? Donald Trump, and I hate to keep going back to Donald Trump, but he's definitely a lesson in what a leader shouldn't be. Because he's all about himself, whereas to be a real leader, you got to be selfless. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You got to be selfless. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is such a beautiful messenger. He's such a beautiful black man.
That's right. He is.
Because the wisdom that he gave us, man, it's an invincible truth.
Yes, sir.
It really is. We're about to run up on Martin Luther King Day, the parade.
Yes,
right?
sir.
In Denver,
Yes,
we
sir.
have a parade every year.
Yes, sir.
And you know, that's one of our prominent leaders,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Especially that black people can identify with, or at least they say they can identify with, but not really. Because Dr. Martin Luther King was a revolutionary.
That's right.
And most of us aren't revolutionary in the way that we think.
That's right. Go
He
ahead.
truly was a revolutionary, and he truly believed in what he was doing. And the thing I love about Dr. Martin Luther King and studying him further beyond I Have a Dream
Yes, sir.
is that he was in that evolutionary process. He started in a certain point, and in 1963 when we got the I Have a Dream, that was a certain point. But in 1968, on the right before he was assassinated, it wasn't the same Dr. Martin Luther King. He was different. He had evolved.
Yes.
He had come in contact, actually, with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That's right. He did.
But he wasn't on that I Have a Dream thing. In that 1963, when he said, I have a dream, that was a certain point. But by the time he got to 1968, his quote was, I fear that I have integrated my people into a burning house.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Go
That's
ahead,
what he
brother.
said.
That's evolution.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
From dreaming about little white boys and little white girls
Yeah.
holding hands
Come on.
to saying, man, I don't think we should be here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
That's right. Go ahead.
That's an evolution.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And he was so powerful in terms of his voice and his influence amongst our people that the government decided that they couldn't risk him being here anymore.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
And so they killed him.
That's right.
That was a straight up death plot to stop that man from evolving into what he was going to be.
Mm.
And the thing about Dr. Martin Luther King that we should remember also is that, you know, he died at a very young age.
39.
He's only 39 years
That's
old.
right.
It's young.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, man, that we don't even reach maturity until we 40.
That's right.
Yes, he does.
And so they cut him short of becoming who he was going to be. You know, but Allah is the best knower. Allah is definitely the best
Yes, sir.
knower.
Yes, he is.
But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was asked a question about Dr. Martin Luther King in this beautiful book, Message to the Black Man.
Yeah.
And he answered it so beautifully. But just listen to the wisdom in his answer. And the question was, Mr. Muhammad, and this appears on page 308 of Message to the Black Man if you want to research it. Mr. Muhammad, would you make some statements about Dr. Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement? And his answer, yes, I think Reverend King has been doing a good job according to his knowledge. He has been trying to do his best to get our people some justice in the way of civil rights.
Right.
I believe that he means well, and I believe he would have done better if he had known more about the time and the people and the history and what must be done in such times. He has the desire to see his people dealt with according to justice and not according to injustice. But he does not know that he is living in the time when justice is bound to come to his people. However, it is only through divine and not through civil government. And that goes for most of the groups who are trying to do something for the betterment of our people. Now I want to stop there, and I just want to break this down just a little bit, because this is very powerful what he said.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
He said he does not know that he is living in the time when justice is bound to come to his people.
Right.
Mm.
However, it is only through divine and not through civil government.
Mm.
And that goes for most of the groups who are trying to do something for the betterment of our people. Now, that's powerful because he was a so-called civil rights leader.
Right. Go ahead.
Most of the organizations that we had during that time were civil rights organizations.
Right.
Yes.
SNCC, SCLC, CORE, even the Black Panther Party was about civil and social change. Leadership and standing on principle. Most of those, no, not most, all of those organizations were destroyed by the government.
Yes, they were.
Yes,
Every single one.
That's right.
We talked about a little bit earlier how our people say there's no black leadership. Well, there's no black leadership because, in that sense, because it's not the time for that.
That's right.
That time is over.
That's right.
Civil rights is not the answer or the solution to the problems that face the black man and woman in America.
That's right.
It's not a civil rights issue.
That's right.
Those organizations were destroyed. The Black Panther Party was destroyed. The leadership of all those organizations were destroyed. The only ones that still standing to this very day is the Nation of Islam.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
Due to knowledge. And even though the Nation of Islam failed, we didn't fall at the hands of the government.
That's right.
Come on.
Right.
That's
We
right.
That's
did.
right.
We
Yeah.
fell to our own hands and to our own misunderstanding.
That's right.
That's how we failed.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
But we were able to rise up again, and we are the only ones who have a leader that is consistent. That's the other thing that's about leadership.
That's
It's
right.
consistency.
Yes.
You don't have no
Go ahead.
consistency,
Go
man. You
ahead.
don't have no leadership.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been teaching our people for 63 years.
That's
Come on.
right.
And he has not wavered.
Not
He has
one
never
iota.
sold us out, not one time.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Can you imagine? I mean, just think that over now. Can you imagine this man been standing up in front of our people and in front of the greatest enemy that the world has ever faced?
That's right.
And he has never wavered
That's
in
right.
63 years?
That's right. Go ahead.
Beautiful. It's so true.
Oh, it's so powerful, man.
Yes, sir.
There's an editorial in here about Jamal Bryant. And he said some very disparaging things about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And you kind of wonder where it came from. I mean, I'm not going to use this pulpit to beat up on brother because I don't think that's what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan would want us to do. But you kind of wonder where all of this is coming from.
Yes, sir.
But it's like, it's almost like a gnat.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You know what I mean? Trying to mess with an elephant. I mean, it's so silly what the brother said and so contrived. But it's like, you can't say anything about the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right.
You can't.
That's right.
It don't hold up.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That man was teaching before most of us were even born.
That's right.
And
That's right.
still teaching. That man was working before most of us were even born.
That's right.
And still working harder than us. And he 85 years young.
That's right.
It's so true.
That's incredible.
Beautiful. Come on.
All praise is due to Allah.
Yes, sir. Come on, brother.
And he is teaching us, just like the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad died, we don't need a leader, so to speak. We need to be leaders ourselves. But we need to embrace the principles that he's teaching us.
That's right.
You say, brother, but he's your leader. Yeah, he is. Absolutely. Because I haven't grown to that stage to where I don't need his leadership.
Right.
And I don't think that I ever will.
Right.
That's right.
But he has made it clear to us that he's not the leader.
Right.
Yes.
See that? Oh man. He has made it clear to us that he's not the leader. At one point, man, he chastised us. He said, man, I don't ever want you referring to me as the leader of the Nation of
That's
Islam.
right.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I'm like, man. I mean, just the humility of a person who is clearly powerful. I mean, clearly.
Yes, sir.
You can't say that the man's not powerful when he called for 1 million black men and 2 million show up.
That's right.
At his call. You can't say that
That's
he's not
right.
powerful.
That's right.
But for him to say, I don't want you to ever refer to me as the leader.
Teach. That's right.
Oh
Yes,
man,
sir.
that's a lesson in humility. That's leadership.
Yes, it is.
Right? All praise
Yes,
is due
sir.
to Allah. He said the leader is and has always been the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. He is the eternal leader
Yes,
of
sir.
the nation of
Yes,
Islam.
sir. Yes, sir.
He's eternal because the principles that he taught are eternal.
That's right.
The stance that he is, or the foundation that he is standing on, he got from God himself.
Yes, sir.
The one who was promised to come.
That's
the one
right.
who came 9,000 miles to seek and to save a lost and destroyed people.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Y'all know how far 9,000 miles is?
It's pretty far.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's far.
That's a long way away.
Yes, sir.
By yourself.
By himself.
Yes, sir.
And he came and he said that, man, he gave us such beautiful language and metaphors, man, as to what he would do, man, just to save just one. He said he came 9,000 miles and that he would climb a mountain 40 miles high and eat rattlesnakes just to save one.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Now, we live in the mile-high city.
That's
Come
right.
on, teach.
That's 5,280 feet.
That's right.
The highest mountain in the world is Mount Everest. That's
Yeah.
29,141 feet high.
Yeah.
That's approximately, what, that ain't even 6 miles.
That's right.
This man said he would climb a mountain 40 miles high.
Go ahead,
40
brother.
miles high, that's at the edge of space.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on. Teach.
And eat rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Save one. Now, rattlesnakes are native to North America.
That's right.
Think that over.
That's right.
40 miles high, or could represent, I'm not going to say it does, but it could represent the 40 years that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad
Yes.
taught us.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir.
This man, leadership.
Come on.
Leadership. We see in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in this hour, the moral character, right?
Yes, sir.
And a life guided by principles to where we could say, man, that's what I want to lead me.
That's right.
That's how I want to help guide me stage after stage into my eventual
Yes,
perfection.
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
that I could be a leader. Because once I'm a leader, man, of myself, now I could be a leader of my family.
Yes, sir.
I could be a leader in my community.
Come on.
And then not be based on anything selfish. I'm not trying to represent up here so I can get some money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't what leadership is about.
That's right. Come on.
If you leading because you want to get paid, man, you need to get off the damn pulpit.
That's right.
Get off the damn rostrum.
That's right.
That's right.
Because that ain't what it's about.
That ain't what it's
It
about.
should be about seeing your people be their best.
Come on.
A leader helps to make his people better.
That's right.
That's right.
If he don't, what's the quality of his leadership?
Come on now.
I mean, think that over now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
See, our people say, man, we don't have no leaders. Yes, we do. You're just not willing to do what it takes to follow that leader.
That's right.
We got one leader that's standing right now, and that is the Honorable Minister Louis
Yes,
Farrakhan.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But the thing is, man, he's asking us to do something that conflicts, again, with our own personal desires.
Yes.
Like, I could follow Farrakhan, man, but I love pork and white women too much.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
We
sir.
just that crazy.
Yeah.
We are.
I could follow Minister Farrakhan, man. I would, man, but you know what, man? I like to smoke this weed. I like to drink this alcohol.
Sad.
I like to chase these women. We will not follow him because it interferes with our own personal desires.
That's right.
That's right.
But we will never grow into who God wants us to be
That's right.
That's right.
until we get rid of those personal desires and do what's right.
That's right.
And that's the hard thing, man. But it's a hard thing, but it don't have to be. It really don't.
That's right. Go ahead.
Because the reality is, anything that we practice, the longer we practice it, the easier it gets.
That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So in the Nation of Islam, man, in order to follow the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, man, we got to give a whole lot of stuff up. And we're giving a law that is placed upon us that is called the restrictive law of Islam.
Yes.
But the longer we practice it, and those who have been in for a long time can bear me witness, the longer we practice it, the easier it is.
That's right. Go ahead, brother.
That's right. Teach on that.
The longer we practice it, after a while, it don't become restrictive. It's more freeing than it is restrictive.
That's right. Go ahead.
Right. Teach on that.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
It's a beautiful thing, but you got to get into the process.
That's right.
You got to start practicing in order to ever understand what it is.
Come on.
And then you can say, man, you know what? I could follow Farrakhan.
Yes.
I could follow Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's right.
And Jesus said, look, what did Jesus say? Come follow me so that where I am,
Yeah.
you might also be.
That's right.
That is the quality of leadership. That will make us leaders among leaders.
That's right.
Yes.
That will make us gods amongst gods.
That's
Come
right.
on. Teach on that.
Oh man, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And so I'm doing my best, as Allah is my witness, to be a follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
And I don't even want to say be a leader, but to be a servant of our people.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I could say, honestly, not only about myself, but about all of the believers here in this city, man, that we're not doing this for no money.
That's right.
Because ain't there one of us got a dime.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I can say that. I can say that unequivocally. Can't nobody ever accuse me for doing something for some money.
Right.
All right.
Right.
But, you know, when we do it, and we do it for the right reasons, Allah is sufficient.
Yes,
That's
it
right.
is.
Yes, it is.
I don't want for nothing.
Come
That's
on.
right.
All praise is due to Allah. I don't want for nothing. Allah is sufficient. And whatever I do to make money, man, Allah makes that happen. And I know that all of those blessings come from Him.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And so I'm inspired, and I hope and pray that each and one of us is inspired to aspire towards being the best, I don't want to say leader, but the best servant
Yes,
sir.
that we can be.
Yes, sir.
And then maybe, just maybe, Allah will make us into leaders.
That's right.
Yes, yes,
So
sir.
at this time, I want to thank y'all for listening. Thank you for coming. I want to greet you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sir. Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. So I have a question for you all. How's everybody doing?
Fine, sir.
Praise be to Allah. I'm doing fine as well. Praise Allah. How many of us are here for the first, second, and third time? Let's see by show of hands. Praise Allah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, how many? Oh wait, let me say this before I do that, because we do give the family an opportunity to answer questions. We don't want you to ever think that any one of us standing up in front of you is just talking to be talking. We stand up here, and we stand up here in the spirit of truth.
Yes, sir.
And so any question that you might have regarding what was heard here today, or what you've heard about the Nation of Islam that you would like to ask, we welcome that question. So at this time, are there any questions that anyone would like to ask? Anybody? All praise be to Allah. So I was clear? I was that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. So at this time, I want to ask, does everyone who's here and believe that what you heard taught here today was the truth and it's good for our people. If you believe it's the truth and good for our people, let's raise your hands. Let's praise Allah. It is the truth and it is good for our people. Now this next question requires a bit of action, but please don't be scared.
Please don't.
I'm not going to ask you to join anything because you're already a part.
That's right.
right.
That's right.
At this time, would anyone like to stand with us, accept this truth, and help us to deliver it to our people? We are trying to really build a nation of Islam in this city.
That's right.
We really are. We really are. It's humble beginnings, you know what I mean? But everything that starts great has a humble beginning.
Yes,
That's right.
So if you would like to stand with us and help us to get this truth over to our people, if you'd like to stand with us and learn more about what you heard taught here today,
Come on now.
please stand up right
Please.
today. Praise be to Allah. Wow. I just want to encourage you just to keep coming
Coming back.
That's right.
Keep coming back, keep studying with us. We have our classes, and we'll bring Sister Barbara to tell us about when our classes are. But keep coming out and be encouraged and take whatever it is that we were able to get over today, and let's do our best to practice it and to apply it.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? That's the most important piece.
That's right.
All praise is due to Allah. So, if that's it, we're going to go into the next phase. Praise Allah. So we'll bring up our sister again. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for listening. I love you.
Love you.
Two, brother.
Assalamu alaikum. Let me, who am I bringing up? Let me bring up our beautiful